Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And penolong pengarah kanan bahasa Sektor Pembelajaran Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Selangor. Cik Zahira binti Zulkifli, State Language Officer, SISC Plus from all districts of Selangor, English language teachers from all over Selangor who are able to join us, be it from the secondary level or the primary level. Ladies and gentlemen, I, Freida Jihan, on behalf of JPS, would like to extend a warm welcome to our very first webinar session, Teaching in the New Normal, Sharing of Best Practices. Welcome to the new normal. I bet some of you are still not having your shower yet, but still you need to brush your teeth. So that's the new normal. You can still you're able to attend webinars without having to take your shower. How amazing is that? So I'm just kidding. Let's move on to our objectives of the webinar. Just to share with you the objectives of our webinar today. Firstly, to share the strategies used by Selangor language teachers in carrying out home-based learning, or also known as PDPR, based on high to engagement of technology and low engagement to no technology use at all. Secondly, to celebrate the teachers who have worked hard to ensure teaching and learning continues at home. And thirdly, to inspire other teachers to do home-based learning despite the challenges they face. So I'm sure this is a tough and trying times for all our teachers. So this is what we need. This is just what we need, right? Sharing of best practices from the ones who have been doing it. So just like I mentioned, welcome to our very first six together of our sharing of best practices happening throughout this week and also next week from 23 celebrated inspiring teachers of Selangor. So do keep a lookout on the dates as well as the speakers presenting. Just a quick run through of our housekeeping rules. Ladies and gents, teachers, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to type on the right-hand side of the comment box, right? And all questions will be addressed at the end of each presentation. Also, the link for attendance will be shared usually 15 minutes before we end. So do look out for that as well. Stick around as we have loads to listen about. And today, we have three speakers, distinguished speakers, hailed from three different districts, which means we have three different settings and challenges posed. And the mediums that the teachers used are also of various means. So without further ado and without dilly-dallying, let's go straight to our first speaker. And let me introduce her, our first speaker. Our first speaker, Ahmad Zulkifli, currently teaching in SMK Kajang Tama, and she has been teaching since 1997. And the title of her presentation is Error Identification in Writing. Please welcome Cikgu Nur Eliza.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning to everybody. Okay, as for today, as you can see my title, it is Error Identification in Writing via WhatsApp and YouTube. All right. So without wasting any more time, let me just carry on with my presentation. All right. So when I look at before I plan a lesson, okay, there are a few challenges that I have to look into. All right. Firstly, these are the challenges, and I'm sure these are the same challenges that you faced in your school as well. So my pupils have no access to the Google Classroom. Not everybody, but there are pupils who do not have access. And then they have slow internet connection. And then when parents go back to work, okay, my pupils will have problems whereby they are sharing gadgets with the other family members. And they have to wait for their parents to come back in order to be able to do my work. And then there are some students which I cannot reach, meaning that they have gone missing in action. I think this is quite normal for some of our students. They are nowhere to be found, not easily responding to any updates in the WhatsApp or whatever. And I have students who have become demotivated because we are not there, they can't go to school, and they feel that they have lose interest in learning. And they're giving up hope, especially those students who are actually sitting for the SPM. And then I worry about my slower students because my low proficiency students, they need my guidance. So I don't, it's not easy for me to reach them because some of them are really not catching up. All right. And last but not least, yeah, I do have pupils who have attitude problems. They stay up at night on video games and everything, but in the morning for Google Meet so sometimes we have to go for Google Meet in the evening, in the afternoon, then we can have at least some of them joining the Google Meet. All right. Now, my objective, I'm sharing you one of the lessons that I find satisfying to me. All right. And here, my learning objective would be, pupils should be able to identify at least 15 errors in the passage. I'm giving them a passage. And they are supposed to do corrections for the errors that they have found. And then they have to obviously use contextual clues to determine the correct grammar forms. And they have to use correct grammatical structure in the given situation. Okay, I'm showing you, this is the sample. This is the text that I've supplied them. It is a narrative essay. Okay, I'm giving you the reasons why I'm choosing this particular text. I'm trying to kill many birds with one stone. I know if I give them writing work, tasks, they won't write. A few would do that. Some would respond to me, but many do not. All right, so I'm supplying them with this narrative text, which is a writing. It's about 400 words, meaning that it's of the right length for a continuous essay. And why I give a narrative? Because most of our students do not know or they're not keen of writing narrative writing. So I supply them with this. And yeah, like I mentioned, it can be used as a sample continuous writing. And it consists of simple dialogues in the...
Excuse
Hello?
me, Cikgu Eliza.
Yeah? Yes?
Have you
I'm not sharing
presented your slide? Can you share your screen?
Oh dear. Yes, I have. Now, can it be seen? Sorry. Can it be seen now?
Yes.
Is it there? Sorry. Okay, can I continue?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Now it's okay.
All right, sorry.
Maybe you can go back a bit.
Oh, I'm
Those who missed out just
okay.
now.
I just continue from this part where I'm showing the screen.
No problem.
So I'm showing this, yeah? So is everybody with me? Okay.
Yes.
So
Now you.
yeah, all right. So I was talking to myself like sorry. Okay. So now what this is the text actually. This is a text where it's about 350 words. It's a narrative, as I mentioned earlier. All right. And there are a few simple dialogues for the students. And they can see how a simple dialogue works in a narrative. And besides that, there are some idiomatic expressions for them to look into in this particular text. And this is actually a sample Band E text, a Band E script for our SPM, meaning that there are errors like almost on every line. And this is what my students are actually doing. And I think it's best that I share this with them, because when they see this script, if they can find the errors, meaning that they are correcting themselves. And when they do not, meaning that they are actually doing the same error as what they are looking in the text. Okay. So that's why I hope I can reach not only my good ones, because this is an enhancement exercise for my good students. For my weaker students, they are supposed to learn from the errors here. And for my very, very weak student, at least I supply them with the essay, with the errors, and later you will see how they can learn from this particular piece. All right, first and foremost, I share the text in this class WhatsApp. This is what I've done. Okay, I've shared it with them. This is with my 5 Amanah. I've got 3 classes, 5 Amanah, 5 Adil, and 5 Azam. All right, my 5 Azam is the weakest class. I share the same thing with them. Okay, for 5 Amanah and 5 Adil, I've actually asked them to find the errors in the text, and they are supposed to correct the errors. Okay, so this is from my average to very good proficiency student, high proficiency student. And then they are supposed to copy the text first for easier reference. Okay, then when I go to my weakest class, this is 5 Azam, they have to copy the text. So once they copy the text, I hope, and in front of them, they would have the text which is of the right length for an SPM script. Okay, instead of having a very short, very, very short text. Okay. So now, once I'm done with sharing this text with the students, I prepare the same text and I transfer them into slides. Okay, so here I have 7 slides. I managed to get 7 slides with all the words that I've used in the particular narrative essay. And why I'm using the slide? Because I want to use Screencastify. Screencastify is where you can record whatever you want to present, and then you can share it with your pupils. So I'm having this. Okay, I choose Screencastify because to me it is very user-friendly and easy editing. And then for now, it is a 5 minutes recording maximum, which is, I think, for students, focus span is just nice for 5 minutes, not too long and neither too short. And then it is easy downloading into my YouTube channel, and automatically it is saved into my Google Drive. Okay, so I actually attended one of the session with Jabatan where Screencastify was shared with us. So I tried it, open a new tab, and then I made sure I sign into my Google account. And then I search to Screencastify, and then I add it to my Chrome, and then I have to make sure that I add the extension. Okay, so now done. That means I have Screencastify in my laptop, and then this is what I do. Okay, first step is I have to prepare all my slides. It must be ready. Once I'm done with it, meaning I'm ready for recording. So, and once I have Screencastify, this icon will appear in my new Google, in my new tab, all right? So I just click to this particular icon and it pops out to this. When I get this, it pops out and I can choose whether I want a browser tab, a desktop, webcam only, and I have to make sure my microphone is on, and then I can click on recording. And then just like our Google Meet, you see this tab whereby you can choose either you want to record the entire screen or the application window. Okay, once you have chosen which one you want, and then you click to share. And then once I have done my recording of that 5 minutes or less than that, because if you want more than 5 minutes, you have to purchase, all right? So I record and then I can snip, I can actually edit whichever I want. And then once I'm done with the recording, now, then I can share with a shareable link with my students, or I can publish it directly to my YouTube channel. And also I can send it to via email, and I can also download onto my desktop or my PC. All right. So that's what I've done. Okay. Once I'm done with that, actually while recording, while editing and everything, okay, I can check my students' progress via WhatsApp. Now, some students DM, direct message me their answers. Okay, as you can see, Zahira here from 5 Amanah, she actually managed to find 33 errors. And then for Madhuri here, she managed to find 25 errors. And then there are other students who also direct message me. But for those who did not, I see their updates, and then I can see the number of errors that they have found. And then from here, you see that students who got 23, 27, 22, for 5 Amanah, I got average to high proficiency students here. These are their levels. So I can see, oh, from here I know, okay, this students is not finding enough errors. And then from my 5 Adil, this is a low to average student, average proficiency student. You see, some students are getting only 9 errors. Some students are getting only 6 errors, which is to me is a concern. That means they cannot find the many errors that there are in the specific text, meaning that they are making the same errors as exist in the text. So this is what I can see their progress here from 5 Amanah and my 5 Adil. Okay, now when I'm done with that, okay, so after I'm done with the YouTube channel, I share it there, and then I share the link to my students. For my good students, all right, what I want them to do is they have to watch the video, and then they have to cross-check their answers. All right, they cross-check their answers that they have done on their own, cross-check their answers. Whereas for my weakest class, they have to watch the video and then they have to copy down the errors as what they have seen in the video. Okay, so now it was just a plain text for them, and thus they have to correct the errors as what they have watched. All right, as they watch it. So they can pause and watch it again, pause and continue watching. So here, let's say I click here, okay, like what I've shared with my student. When I click it, okay, they are directly brought to my YouTube channel, to the video.
Assalamualaikum. All right, let's look at.
Okay.
Not crowded. Assalamualaikum. All right, let's look at assignment week 42. Let's go directly to the assignment. Okay, now we have our text here, last Saturday. Okay, when you see last Saturday, all right, obviously it's a time frame which is in the past. So you know that everything must be in the past when you're telling about the story, okay? My family and I went to the IOU Mega Mall. We were so excited. Okay, of course, we're excited as we had, okay, not gone to a mall for quite some time. As expected, it was past tense of is, was, not crowded on that day. All of us went our separate ways and decided it should be a quick trip we had planned. Okay, again, to meet up at Fresco Supermarket in an hour. Okay, let's go to the next one. As I was walking to Border Bookstore, I saw a very haggard-looking old man sitting on the floor. I thought, past tense of thing is thought. It is not a common sight. Okay, I just walked to Border and managed past tense with a D there to grab a few needed books. On my way back, I passed by the old man again. He was not, past tense of was, was not looking, he was not only looking sickly, but also very down and out. After walking quite a distance, I decided to go. Remember, after infinitive to, it is the root word or the base form. To go back to the old man. Okay, next slide. After having a brief conversation, I got to know that his son had told him to station again. After to, no ed, no ing, and no s, because his son needed to get something. That was a few hours ago, and he was not looking, he was also looking tired.
Okay, so that's part of my recording. All right, because if I were to show you the whole thing, it would be a bit too long. It's about 5 minutes. So now I am revealing the corrections to the student. Okay, this is about a day after they have I have shared to them the link, with them the link. So what I have here, as you can see, what I have in the video is what I have on the in this blueprint as well. I have the errors identified. I have the corrections there. I have some notes here that I've shared with them. All right. So at least when they go through it, and then they are able to, if they do not understand anything, they will come back to me. Okay, and we can discuss it in the the group WhatsApp. All right. So this is the first part of the text, and this is the second part of the text. Okay. So when I've shared this with them, the reason being is because I know some students do not have data. So this is the how I can actually help them to actually look and learn from all the errors that are
Eliza,
yeah.
I'm
Again,
so sorry. You have
I did not share my slide again.
yes, like
Okay.
you are. It's okay. It's our first trial, so everyone's first experience.
Okay, let's go
No
back.
worries.
Now can you see?
Yes, let's go back.
My apology to everybody.
Ah,
Okay. So
it's
here,
coming up. Yes.
yeah. So now this is the correction that you see. I've shared this one with my student. So I highlighted every single error that they actually watch in the YouTube channel, in the video, and I've also showed some notes here. All right, and then next one, this is the second part of the text where also the notes are there for them on modals, on present perfect tense and past perfect tense. Okay, so for them to look at it, and if they do not understand, like I mentioned earlier, they can share it, can ask me in the group WhatsApp. Okay, so once I'm done with that, okay, for my weaker student, okay, once they are done, they are supposed to give that tick for their work. Okay, so this is from the weaker student, my 5 Azam. This is where when I ask them to write an essay, none of them can actually write the whole length of as required, but I hope this is a start for them, hopefully. Okay, so for the better proficiency student, I actually ask them question on the phrases that are found in the text. So like the phrases down and out, left scratching one's head, thrown off balance, commendable, and up a notch. And as you can see, some students responded after that, and other students actually responded on the next day and onwards. Okay. And why I find this lesson satisfying to me, because initially, usually for my 5 Amanah, I get about 15 to 29 pupils in responding to me when I give their work. but this time I've got 26 to 20, over 29 students. That's about 90%. And then my 5 ideal, this is my average student. And these are the students who are losing interest in their studies because they think that they cannot handle it without a teacher. So having 9 of them, now 15 of them did the work. And my weakest class, out of usually it's 5 students responding or 4 students responding, I have at least half of the class responding to me. So to me, it is a satisfying lesson, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. Using the 2 platforms that they love very much, WhatsApp as well as YouTube. All right. And I'm using this, I actually use the same text, but I modify it a bit into grammar exercise for my Form 4 class. So I'm killing many birds with that particular text. I think that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Eliza, for that sharing. So, audience of the floor, I mean at home, if you have any questions, do ask while we have our presenter with us. So, let me just, if there's any question mark. Okay, maybe Cikgu Eliza, can I just ask you question from me?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so you mentioned just now that you learned about Screencastify from one of the program GPS has conducted.
Yeah.
And how do you find your first time using it or learning to use it? Was it pleasant or was it difficult? Can you share that? I mean, to discover Screencastify first, and then you did the WhatsApp sharing, right? So the Screencastify as your medium.
Okay. Initially, when it was the first PKP, I actually what did I say? I recorded myself using my PowerPoint and then transferring it to a video and then sharing it in my YouTube. It took a long time. Okay, it took a long time for me to do so. But after I attended the Jabatan session, and what happened was, I actually added to as an extension, and I tried using it. I said, oh, it's actually very easy, meaning that and I actually used it with my students when I did ask them to record themselves. And then I did show them how to use Padlet, and then I recorded myself using my how do they go about the Padlet thing. I use Screencastify, and I've actually shared it with them, and it was easy. So immediately I can share it with my students immediately after that. So I find it very useful. For those who do not have Screencastify, do have it, because it's really useful. And as for me, it's very helpful in my teaching, because when I need short videos, that's the one that I will use.
Okay, thank you. And we have another question, Cikgu Eliza.
Yes.
I think you have a fan here.
Oh.
A fan is asking for your YouTube channel's name so that they can follow you.
Oh, it is Teacher Eliza. It is Teacher Eliza. Yeah, that's it. It's Teacher Eliza channel. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. So
I think I don't have do you have? Oh, I do have. Yes, I do. But I don't have much video there. I don't have that many video, but you can watch it. It's YouTube channel. It's Teacher Eliza for everybody. I'm very sorry for not sharing my slides on and off just now. It's aging factor.
don't worry. And also because this is our first live broadcast, right? So give us a break. Yeah, we are still, maneuvering our ways into this.
I hope my sharing session is beneficial to the others. And then I hope it will work for everybody else, because I find the two platforms are the ones students go to. So why not go with the flow with them?
Awesome
Is it worth
advice.
to get?
One more question from the
Yeah. Is it worth to
yeah
get the paid package? Actually, I have not purchased the paid package
package.
of Screencastify. That's why I'm still using the 5 minutes maximum. Because to me, when I record, yeah, I have not purchased the Screencastify yet. Still using the free 5 minutes that is allowed for us when we start the account. Maybe I should venture and try to purchase it myself.
Okay. It would be a good investment.
Yeah.
Okay, any more questions from the floor? I don't think so. Everyone is saying thank you very much, basically. So I think that's all. Thank you very much, Eliza, for sharing.
Thank
Awesome,
you very
awesome
much.
sharing.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So next, we will move on to our second speaker of today's session. And let me introduce you to our second speaker. Now, our second speaker is Cikgu Jessica Yim Sau Theng. Puan Jessica has been teaching in SMK Tanjung Sepat, Kuala Langat, and she has been teaching there for the now the title of her presentation is Home-Based Learning via Quizzes. Without ado, let's welcome Cikgu Jessica. The floor is all yours.
All right. Thank you so much, Freida, Jaga Freida. Happy Wednesday and good morning to everyone. So I really want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my experience in conducting home-based learning with my students. Just give me a moment as I share my screen. Okay. All right. So as you know, my title for today is actually home-based learning via quizzes. So here I would like to do a short introduction about my school. So SMK Tanjung Sepat is the only secondary school in Tanjung Sepat. It is very near to the KLIA airport if you want to know. So my school consists of 58 teachers and approximately about 850 students from different ethnic groups, and a majority of them are from the lower social economy household as well. So when COVID-19 pandemic struck us, we are asked to do home-based learning, and throughout these few months there are many challenges that we faced. I believe that all of us face as teachers, be it primary school or secondary school. So here I would like to talk about the challenges, the solution, as well as a strategy that it's working right now for my students. So the first challenges I would like to talk about is actually the low internet connection. So this is due to the fact that most of my students, they are on a financial budget, so they only could afford prepaid data plan, or some of them, even though they have their own gadget, they're unable to constantly reload their phone credit most of the time. So because of this, their internet connection is low, and they can't afford to go online, face-to-face online classes with me. So there are also students that comes and tell me that they have to help their parents to take care of their younger siblings. They need to stay home and spend the afternoon session to take care of their siblings, they need to help their parents in their small businesses, and thus there is also not a suitable time for on to face-to-face online class as well. So there's a lack of motivation to learn in my students. To be honest, some of my students they are missing in action. They are quiet in chat groups, even though their name is being added into WhatsApp group. So all of these challenges really hinders me to carry out face-to-face online classes with my students. In order to actually work through this, to overcome this, I actually implemented one approach that's called asynchronous interaction with my students. It allows a non-face-to-face interaction with my students, and students have the ability to access information and demonstrate what they have learned in their own pace. So that means students could actually read the materials that I've given or anything that I've posted in the group at their own pace, at their own time. And they are able to communicate with their peers and teacher any time of the day. So as we know, I believe that all of us, most of us have a WhatsApp group or Telegram or any communication platform with our students, and this interaction actually enables them to reply to us and communicate with us even though we don't see each other face to face. So I would need to find a way to make learning fun again. I would need to find a way to attract my students to learn even though they are not in school. So I took on the gamification approach in my lesson. This refers to an educational approach to motivate students to learn by using video game design and game elements in learning environment. So what do you mean by video game design? So it actually refers to elements such as having a leaderboard. That means when the students finish the task, the students can track their own progress. They can see who did better than them, how they did. So a ranking system could also cultivate competitiveness among students. So in my situation, I find that there is a digital platform that actually helped me and my students a lot, and that is quizzes. So I believe a lot of us out there have been using this. So we know that quizzes is famous for creating quizzes, and it's a platform that we could actually search for a lot of quiz that we can send out to our students. We can copy the quiz and we can actually edit the questions. So the type of questions that we can use are almost similar to what we can do in Google Forms, such as multiple choice questions, chat box, short answers, polls, and fill in the blanks. So today, I'm not here to actually talk about the quiz feature. Today I want to highlight the lesson feature in quizzes. So I actually found that quizzes lesson actually helped me a lot in my home-based learning between me and my students. So right now here I have a brief example of a lesson plan. So this is for my Form 4 students who are low and intermediate in their proficiency level. So it's a reading lesson. So students will be able to identify important and specific information in a given graphic stimuli. So this is part of their test as well. I mean, like, it's a format of their test. So the activities are really simple, so that they could actually do it themselves and send back their answers to me. So for this, it's actually, we could actually achieve differentiation learning in this, so to say, because we give our students a time frame to answer the questions. For example, I give them about 3 days, or sometimes I might extend another day, a 4-day time frame, so that they could actually answer the question. And from there, we're actually doing differentiation in time. That means some would be faster in answering, some would take a bit longer in answering. So so the first thing I'll do is actually to notify my students through the WhatsApp group. So I'll paste the link there, and as you can see, as you can see, after quite some time, students begin to reply that they have done it and so forth. So this is something that is actually very, very satisfying on my part to see my students handing up their work even though we're not having classes face to face. So here I would like to share the layout of quizzes lesson if you're wondering what is it like. So it's actually just like creating PowerPoint slides. So you're able to actually put in instructions right here and to tell them by the end of the lessons what you are able to do. And you could actually import slides. This is a very interesting part that you could actually import slides and you could actually put in slides that you have previously done in PowerPoint into quizzes lesson. So in terms of assessment, after the students have answered the questions that you have posted to them, quizzes lesson, it's similar to how quizzes quiz give us information and help us analyze our students' performance. So we're able to track the participants. That means the number of participants that has went through this question. So I always advise my students to write their own their real name instead of their nickname. So if it's nickname like such, I wouldn't know who the person is, even though it has 100% accuracy. So it also display the number of questions that the students are able to answer. So there are 10 questions. Putri, Danny are able to answer all 10 questions altogether. So with this feature, I could actually email parents as well to update their child's performance, and I could actually print out this sheet to be recorded as my own data and to help me plan future lessons. So moving on, quizzes lesson in this feature helps you to see the percentage of students selecting the given options. So for example, in this question, I would know like there are 9 participants who clicked on this, and why would the participant click on this? And these are some reflective questions that a teacher could think about as they create more questions. So moving on, as you can see, it also display the breakdown on how individual students perform in answering the questions. So you can see particularly question 5, a lot of students got the incorrect answer. So you would want to look into that as part of the planning for the future lesson. And these data are actually really valuable for teacher. So this is moving on. This is a slide on how quizzes actually look like in the student's point of view. So it's you will see a background of this in terms of slides. There are music, and there's also a quiz in that sense. The effectiveness of this quizzes lesson. So as a result of using quizzes lesson, there is an increase in my students' participation in learning. So more students responded to completing the task. They are more receptive when I post something up, and they would respond. And there's also an increase in students' communication between peers and teachers, because there's a ranking system and there's a leaderboard. So that means the students will chat among each other, and they also, with my positive reinforcement, acknowledging the students, they are more motivated, so to say. So there's also an increased competitiveness among peers. So the ranking helped them to actually outdo each other in answering questions. So the last part that I have for you is actually to briefly tell you how you could create your own quizzes lesson. First and foremost, click on, after you have signed into your quizzes account, you could actually click on the lesson button that is at the right hand side corner, and from there you can click try it out. And yes, you need to name your lesson. So I would put empat cekal reading, okay, and you would have to choose a subject for it, and you would go, and it would bring you to a template like such. So the layout of the slides is on the left hand side corner, and it's just like PowerPoint, right? And you could actually put in media to help you create better slides, suitable pictures to help you as well. So yes, it has also different type of slides that you could put on. As you can see, slides with bullet points, with media, with audio clip, right? And also the interaction questions that you could actually include in your slide, right? So after that, if you think that you would want to edit your lesson again, you could actually do that. So for example, before you publish your lesson, you could actually, the site actually save your progress, and you could actually edit that. So for this slide, I have 18 slides, and if I press edit, you could actually combine any slides that you want. And other interactive question, as I mentioned, there is a lot of type of questions that you can post, fill in the blanks, polls, checkbox, multiple choice, just to engage your students in the lesson, right? So this is an example. If you're familiar with creating quiz in quizzes, this is very similar to it. And yeah, and for me, this has been helping me and helping my students to learn in this time of pandemic. So that's all from me actually, and I would like to say thank you for listening, and I'll encourage you to try out this and utilize quizzes lesson as part of your home-based learning. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Cikgu Jessica, for that
Yeah, sure.
delightful sharing.
Thank you.
And as you said, during these trying times, pandemic situation, the kids need something fun, right, to do, but still learning.
Yeah, they do. So we will
Okay,
try our best to
we are
actually engage.
yeah. Even if they are Form 4, they are still like kids at heart.
Exactly, they are. They're actually looking for something that could attract them. Yeah, they are. Is there any question that?
Yeah.
Thank
So,
you.
perhaps a question from me, Cikgu Jessica. Have you tried these
Sorry.
quizzes?
Okay.
Sorry, have you tried quizzes with other skills?
Oh, you mean using quizzes lesson for other language skills with my students? Um, so technically is actually I'm exploring using quizzes for listening lesson as well, because it allows us to embed audio as well into the slides. So yeah, actually you can do listening lesson, reading, or even writing lesson, so to say. So yeah. So
Okay, thank you. So it's very versatile. You can use it anyhow,
yeah.
any way you like, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Cikgu Jessica, again. So awesome to
All
have you
right.
here with us.
Sure,
Okay, thank
sure.
you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, now everyone, we welcome to our third speaker of the last one. Okay, our third speaker, Ahmad from the Kubu Baru, of 25 years of teaching, and she has also presented papers in Malta as well. And her topic today is let's welcome our third presenter, Cikgu Sujatha. Okay, we might have a technical problem a bit, reaching out to Cikgu Sujatha. So in the meantime, just let's reflect back on the practices that we have listened to, and perhaps, just be inspired and just would like to try after we have watched these webinars. That is, of course, after all, the purpose of having these webinars, right? Even a simple thing as quizzes and, engage our students. And then if we have students with advanced technology knowledge, we can try out even more sophisticated tool, right? But do not discount the effectiveness, I guess. The lesson here is do not discount the effectiveness of how simple a lesson can be and still reach out to our students. I think that's the most important thing, because at the end of the day is how, how we would like our students to learn even at home. Home-based learning, even being at home, offline, online, we can still have it, right? So we are still reaching out to Cikgu Sujatha. I'm so sorry. Uh, in the meantime, audience, if you have any questions you would like to ask again, okay, maybe we can reach out to our speakers from previous sessions if there's any questions. Okay, I'm reading the comments. Oh, by the way, I'm so sorry. I've been getting like PMs, telling me that my line is a bit lagging. Yeah, I don't know why. It has been behaving well all this while, but on the day of live, it is not. I'm so sorry on my behalf, because I cannot do anything about it. I'll just try to improve the package, internet package, I guess. Okay. And also don't forget to subscribe to the Selangor YouTube channel. Yeah, we have lots of sharings there, right? We have lots of sharings there. So do subscribe to that channel because you can go back and review all the sessions that we have, even of other sectors, like ICT things and whatnot. And of course, today's is all about language. So awesome. All right, we have questions. Oh, for quizzes, is there a limit to use? Limit to use as in the questions or limit of students? Cikgu Judia, can you be a bit specific so that we can And we have audience I see from Terengganu and Negeri Sembilan just now. Shout out to everyone. Not just Selangor teachers here with us today. Okay, Cikgu online. Hi, Cikgu Sujatha.
Sorry, I didn't know what happened. I was talking alone. I terkeluar. I share
Okay.
screen now. Yeah. If anything, just call me. I think it's
Yes,
the
yes, yes,
line
please
here.
do.
I'm at
Yes.
school. Okay. I'm at school.
Oh,
Just
I
1
see.
minute.
No worries. I've introduced you already. So the floor is yours.
Okay. So, is it okay? Can you see? Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
yes, we
Any
can.
response? Is it okay? I'm still online, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay. All right. Just a moment. Okay. Is it all right? Am I still online? I don't want to be talking alone again. Right, never mind. I think I'll just go on like this because
You are okay, Cikgu Sujatha? You are clear.
okay, fine. Okay, you just respond to me so that I know that I am with you. All right, in virtual and reality, we are together. That's my title. So I hope I am with everyone. All right. So again, I start. Now, before I move on, let me introduce my pupils first. Now, my lesson is actually focuses more on the Form 5. I'm not only their English teacher, but I'm also one of the class teacher for Form 5 accounts. I'm also their class teacher. And I am also the head of English panel, Ketua Panitia. So I have a lot of tasks to be done. So I have few methods that I use, few approaches that I use to make sure that my pupils are still ongoing learning, keep on learning not only English language but also they are in touch with all the other subjects. Now, this is the background of my students. Majority of them show commitment, and until today, they are showing commitment, although they have limited access to internet. Some with no smartphones or laptops. Okay, the one with no smartphones, I appreciate them because they take the time, the effort to go to their friend's house and share phones with their friends, and a few of them are doing part-time job to support the family. So the request from them is never to have class during the daytime. So what I do is that I have classes with them at night. And the sad thing is, I do have some children with don't care attitude. Now, I'll come to how I managed to pull the don't care attitude to attend the class. Now, during our first MCO, it was fasting month, and it was quite challenging to get the Malays to join the class. So what I did first was that I did Google Classroom, which actually failed because I found out that most of my students they were not interested in Google Classroom, as they just have to do the work and then they have to submit. So I didn't use Google Classroom. Until today, I am actually not using Google Classroom. So what am I doing next is that I divided my group, my Form 5 into two groups. The accounts class, I have 25 children. So what I did is that I put the Muslims in one group. It's not racist, I told them. But because it's Puasa, fasting month, so I always have I had class with them after their sahur because it's upon their request. They requested, teacher, after sahur we want to sleep. I said, why don't you have class first? Attend my class. So we had class from 6:20 until 7:20. Can you hear me? Just to check. Hello? Am I talking alone?
Yes, we can.
Okay, okay. For the rest of them, okay, the Indians and one Chinese boy I have, we will meet up at 9 a.m. or after 9. It's also depending on their wish, okay. But I told them once I have the class, I want to see the full attendance. So I was quite flexible and I'm still flexible. And then the platform that we use is actually WhatsApp, Telegram, and Google Meet. I use these three. WhatsApp is to send messages about the classes, and as a class teacher, I'll also send them whatever that the school sends through WhatsApp. Telegram is used to send the materials. They have to download, they have to print it out. If they can't print, then they have to just write out the answers. And then we will have Google Meet class whereby we discuss the questions that I have posted to them, or for their essay writing we will have discussion first and then they write the essay and then they will send their work through Telegram, whereby I can check, as I could transfer it to MS Word, I could check and then I could resend to them. Now I had a lot of problems and I found out that that approach had weakness. So what I am doing now, based on the first phase, okay, the weaknesses that I encountered during the first phase, what I'm doing now is that I notice that when sometimes some of the kids, they do not attempt the questions. During the Google Meet, they will be telling me, teacher, I forgot. Wait, I'll look for the answer now. So that is a, a weakness, right? So what I'm doing now is that I say, fine, since you do not have time to answer when I give you longer period, I'll give them about 2 days now and they have to print out or copy the answer down and I will collect their answers. Okay, so I have checkpoint at 4 places. I'm collecting and they have one representative who whereby they have to send to the representative. Most of them are staying nearby, so it's not an issue of not going out. And to say that they are at home all the time is definitely not true. Okay, so they send their work to the representative and I go to places like here we have 4 places: Rasa, Kuala Kubu Baru, Ampang Pecah and Kerling. Kerling is quite further. And there is one child whose father is working in Kuala Kubu, so the child sends everything to the father and I collect from the father. So based on this, when I use this method, all of them are answering and doing their work. Now, this is the evidence showing that I did class early morning at about 6:20 for the Muslims during fasting month. And sometimes, okay, we don't have class. What I'll do is that I'll send them videos as such. I ask them to watch some motivational videos. Okay, all the time giving them worksheet. They'll get bored, but I tell them that these videos will help them in their CW, especially story writing, because my children, they are not the kind who can write factual essays. Okay, they are more to storytellers. So I will send them nice videos, ask them to watch, and then later we will look at questions, and then they will try to use the stories that they have watched and they will modify the story and they write something. And then this is a sample of corrected writing that I gave. This is the original work which they post in Telegram, and then I correct their work using different colors and we will have discussion. If it is very badly done, I will have personal coaching with them. I'll set timing at about 20 minutes with that child, or maybe put them into two at a time, and then we will be looking at the errors. I don't do it as a whole class because it will be like humiliating the child. If I have a good work, I will post it and I'll ask everyone to copy, either to copy or to print out the work. Now, this is what I am doing now. since this we did yesterday, I collected the worksheet. So it's an evidence that everyone does the work. There is no more excuses telling that I forgot. Now, once they have done, I told them to have two copies. One, they have to submit to me. Another copy, they have to have it by their side during our class. And I did a PowerPoint and with the answers, the questions. So because as for Form 5, it is based on paragraphs, right? So I screenshot and I put it here and we did checking together. And then for the don't care attitude, I was thinking because I want everyone to join my class. I don't like it when I have a few not joining because they are missing. And it is going to be a very problematic for me when the school reopens, and it's going to be a headache for me to go through with them. So what did I do? The first thing is I called their parents. Parents were quite shocked. They never expect my call. I asked, why is your child not attending the class? And they themselves were shocked that the child was not bothered because some of them told the parents that teachers are doing nothing. There's no online class. So after talking to the parents, some of them started attending the class. And to the ones who never answer my phone call, what I did was that, well, fine, you don't answer my call. I give you a visit. I visited them. Okay, I went to their house and the parent and usually the mom, they were quite shocked, and we had a nice chat, and then they promised that the child will attend the class, and I started having attendance, full attendance, because parents know that I mean business. Now, after our trial and after doing the analysis, I'm quite happy with my children's performance because quite a number of them started getting A minus, because although it was during MCO, all of them attended my class. We had full lesson, and then after that we really pushed a lot, and I did not stop my Google Meet classes even after the school reopened. I continued with my Google Meet. Okay, and then based on the analysis, we found out that some children, they were failing not because they are weak, but they are like kind of lost. They needed personal attention. So this is just an idea now which I have not implemented after discussing with my penolong kanan, and also I had a discussion with my SIC plus, and also now I talk to the children and they talk to their parents. Everyone agreed that for selected students, I'm going to do personal coaching whereby I will be going to their houses. It will not be for all, but maybe for some of them, because we can't like gather everyone, and one or two which they are neighbors, they are willing to go to their friend's house. And I'm going to try this, something that I want to try, see whether it works or not. It's actually, I promised them that it will be not more than an hour, because it's also for me, I have to travel. And then as a head of English language panel, my teacher and I, we have decided to do online workshop for all the Form 5 students. Now, this is something that I did during, before their trial, and it really worked. Okay? As school does not allow workshops because we could not gather students, and we could not ask them to stay back after school because most of them rely on public transport. Okay, so what I did was that I did online workshop at about 4:30. Sometimes it will be at night. Okay, I divided them into two groups, the same, but this time there is no such thing as Malays a group and then Indians a group. No, we mixed according to their abilities. Okay, we do have two groups, right? So uh, these are the evidences that I did online workshop, and actually I did see that in their result. Now that's all. That's all that I did, and that's all that I am still doing. And I hope if there is any ideas from the audience, I could improvise. Now, before I leave, I would like to express my gratitude to our SIC plus Puan Azura for her support. She's always there for me. And then to my school management for their positive comments and support. Okay, thank you, everyone. That's all. Any questions?
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Any questions from the audience? Cikgu Sujatha, while
Yeah.
waiting for the audience, yeah, I just want to ask you, when you mentioned you made you had a friend a nice chat. I believe the nice chat wasn't over cakes and coffee.
No, I did not enter their houses because it is MCO. I stood outside and I didn't
Yeah,
want to
but
take any risk because the parents are working elsewhere, you see. And I don't want
yeah, and
them
when
to
you
say that
say,
it's because. Yes, madam.
sorry, my line is a bit lagging. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
When you say that's all you did, I don't think that is all you did. I mean, you have done way out of your way. I mean, you have done house visits, which is really not some teachers might feel a bit hesitant, but you have gone out of your way. So hats off to you, Cikgu Sujatha.
Thank you. Now, just one more thing, because I don't only have children with don't care attitude. It's also parents, with don't care attitude. I also encountered that. So very simple. I told the parents, well, if you're not bothered about your child, don't blame the school. So, and then they just kept quiet. And after that, I had full attendance. Seriously telling, I'm having 25 over 25 each time I have classes. How do you
Okay.
juggle between teaching, marking, and preparing your online classes? I have my children are grown up. I think I'm possible to do this because I don't have to take care of any young kids anymore. Okay, so with teachers with small children, I understand. Definitely, they can't go around to houses, right? So that is one advantage. If you ask me to do this 10 years ago, I don't think so.
Okay. Now,
So any
another
other
question from me.
question? Yeah.
When you say personal coaching, how did you go about asking for permission?
I told them to ask their parents and I waited online. When during our Google Meet class, I say, okay, now ask your parents in front of me. Okay, so I waited. So the parents talked to me through Google Meet. They like it. The parents are so encouraging. They even volunteered to use their houses. They said, fine, teacher, no problem. Fine, teacher, no problem.
Wow, that is really to hear. So thank you very much, Cikgu Sujatha. Inspiring indeed.
Thank you.
Oh, one more question. One more
Oh,
question
yes.
there. Maybe
Yes.
before. Yes.
Oh, what was the highest number of participants in the workshop? Now, this workshop was actually for my class, but I never limited my class. There were students from different classes, and I always ask them to ask permission from their respective teacher, because we have to respect all the teachers, right? And some classes, some workshops, because I don't have many in my class, I told them maximum that I can have is 20, because I want everyone to answer my questions. And I had few sessions, actually, not only one session. Yes, okay, thank you. No more
All
questions.
right. Okay.
Okay, right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think that's all. Thank you very much, Cikgu Sujatha, for an amazing session with us. Okay. So teachers, three distinguished speakers for today's session, all of them, for the inspiring sharing. comment box, so please fill that up. Now with that, hopefully we have full and beneficial sharing. Some of us who are finding this home-based learning, this has us to do so. And this is why we have these sharings, so that teachers can feel like alone in this. Together we can pull it off. So we are just Puan Haja Hanisa, Cik Zahira, and all the class for coming up with this great initiative of having this webcast. It has been an amazing experience of sharing. And reminder to everyone watching, we still have our webinar sessions for tomorrow and also on Friday and also through next week. So do look out for those sessions, right? And looking forward to hear from all the presenters. And on behalf of JPS, I thank you for joining us today. Keep spreading positive vibes and stay safe. That's all from me.